Hey, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Yoga Church Digital this morning. Welcome to those who are joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. We just encourage you to pause and to share this on your social media feed, do a watch party, or just share the link with your friends. And for those of you that are joining throughout the week, we welcome you. Part of the amazing opportunity we have here is that if your schedule's busy, and we know a lot of people going back to school and figuring out all those rhythms again, you can literally join us throughout the week anytime. So we're grateful. Welcome to all of you. So I am going to start with just a brief devotional and then kick it over to Karen and get out of the way here so we can jump into this practice. And I want to start with this concept, really just ask a question first. If you had to guess, and we know not everybody involved here is Christian, and that's fine. Whether you are Christian, not Christian, thinking maybe you might want to be a Christian or you'll never be a Christian, we just welcome you, and we're glad that you're here. And yes, also, yeah, please post in the comments how you're feeling today. We'd love to hear that as well. But do you know what the most repeated commandment in the Old Testament is? If you had to take a wild guess, what would be the most repeated commandment in the Old Testament? Interestingly enough, it is this command right here. The word there, the Hebrew word is gar or geir, and it means stranger, alien, sojourner. And the most repeated instruction in the Old Testament, in fact, 36 times, is a call for us to care for the stranger. More than any other command, it commands us more than observing the Sabbath or any of that other stuff. There's 613 restrictions in the Old Testament to care for our sojourner, stranger, alien, to welcome the stranger among you. Isn't that fascinating that God thinks it really important to welcome those that are different from you, to welcome those that may be an alien or a visitor in your life or your daily rhythms. And another interesting thing is all of those different instructions to love our neighbor, to love the stranger, are usually connected with this idea of, because you were a stranger once, so you should love the alien as you love yourself. You were a sojourner once, so you should care for those that are strangers. So when we think about that, it takes a little bit of introspection, right? So what if we were to see other people through that lens? Has there ever been a time where you felt like an outsider? Has there ever been a time in your life where you felt like you were a stranger or a visitor to someone? And starting in that inner world to know what that feels like. What if we were to extend the kind of hospitality and grace and love and just this profuse outpouring of welcoming to all the people that we might encounter throughout the day? Now, I think one issue that we have to think about, and I know in some sense we're getting back to going back into some kind of normal rhythm of life. Many of us are. Many are also still quarantined. But how do we welcome our stranger in a COVID-19 world, where we're masked and we're social distance, and some of you are huggies. You like to give hugs or side hugs or high fives or whatever it is that's your thing. We like to communicate with people. We like to have an exchange. In what ways does COVID-19 and mask and social distancing and being kind of separate but together, in what ways does it challenge us to love our neighbor and to welcome the stranger? And what are some creative ways that we might, even in the middle of that, welcome others? So, things like waving at people when they go by. I'm noticing a lot of, heads down, mask on, like people are just trying to get from A to B without really being conscious of the people around us, because, there's threat and risk and everything. But would it really hurt for us to pause and give a wave or a thumbs up, or to say hello to the people that we encounter. Little simple acts of love that might just have a really surprising effect on our neighbor. And are we conscious of our inner world and where we are? In what ways do we sometimes feel like a stranger to ourselves? Um, and it's my hope that in this practice today, that one of my intentions today is to just be introspective and to see what God is doing in my heart and where I'm at. And as Karen always says, to see the fruits of my spiritual tree. Are they love and joy and peace and patience and goodness and gentleness, faithfulness, self-control? And how am I sharing those fruits with others that I may encounter throughout the day, even the ones who may be outside my social circle or different than me, or of a different political orientation than me, or of a different sexual orientation than me, whatever that might be. How do I reach out in love and friendship and authentic relationship with all that I might encounter today? So I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
To yoga. Let us start sitting in a very comfortable position, either with your legs folded, a little bend in your knees. Maybe you take your feet out. So we bend our knees just to protect our spine. So sit as comfortable as you can. Sit tall, and we will start with breath, the heart of yoga. So let us close our eyes and just become aware of your breath. What's happening as you inhale and what's happening as you exhale. Just breathe. And take this time as you breathe to clear your mind of any anxiety, any clutter, any negativity, any expectations. Just open up some space in your mind so that you can hear thoughts that may be coming from your heart or from your soul. So maybe you come up with an intention just from opening up that space in your mind, an intention of maybe grace or love or doing something kind for a neighbor. Maybe it is a fruit of the Spirit. Maybe it is love or compassion or gentleness or patience. Let us just take this time to come up with that intention. If you would like to, you can take this time to breathe, just listen to your heart, listen to your soul. And with your eyes closed, we're going to go into a purifying breath. Inhaling as deep as you can in through your nose, feeling the air go all the way down, deep into your belly. Pause, and then exhale through your mouth all the old air out of your body to renew the air in your body. Inhale deep in through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Continue in through the nose. Maybe making a shh sound as you exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And let us return to normal breath, opening our eyes, inhaling in through the nose and out through the nose. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up and exhale hands over, heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands up, reaching your hands out long, floating the fingers down to your mat softly. Inhale up. And exhale, hands over, heart center. Big stretches here, just warming up your body. The bigger the stretch, the bigger the warm up. Inhale. Inhale, and this time just reach your arms out long, float your fingertips down, keeping your arms as long as you can. As we go into our side stretches, flip your left palm up, take it up for stretch and over for flexibility, and we'll alternate side to side. Use your breath to guide your movements through your practice today. And know that this is your practice and you should listen to your body because we're all built so differently. We all move differently. So it's important that you know that this is your practice and that you can modify or just pause and take a break at any time during your practice today. I'm just here to give you some ideas of how to move from one pose, transitioning to another. So do listen to your body. I'll try to modify where I can. I myself have just gotten stitches out of my hand, so I have to be careful. So I'll be modifying as well. Inhale. And one more big stretch. Inhale. And exhale. Rest your hands on your mat by your sides as we go into some shoulder shrugs with breath. Inhale up. Exhale to push the shoulders down. And again, inhale. Exhale, and this time inhale up, but let's go into some big shoulder rolls around to the back. How big and slow can you roll your shoulders around to the back? Just releasing any tension in that upper back and your neck. Inhaling and exhaling with each big circle. And one more inhale and exhale. Sit as tall as you can, growing through the crown of your head. As we go into some neck stretches, drop your chin to your chest and stretch the back of your neck. Let your head be heavy and breathe. And with your chin on your chest, we're just going to continue down the spine. Let the rib cage cave in and the shoulders round forward as your spine rounds. Opening up space between each vertebra. Let your head get heavier and heavier, and breathe. Inhale. On the next exhale, slowly roll your chin up to your left shoulder. And when you get there, get as tall as you can. As we go into half neck circles in slow motion, inhale to drop the chin to the chest. And exhale, come up to the right shoulder, grow tall through the spine. And two more half neck circles with breath. Inhale, rounding the spine. Exhale, lifting through the spine. And one more half neck circle. Inhale. And exhale. And come back to the center with your gaze. Let's bring our hands to our knees. Again, either folded knees or maybe you bring your feet out because you have lower back issues as we warm up the spine with little bitty upper body circles. So they're small circles and they will gradually get bigger and bigger as your spine allows your body to just circle bigger and slow with breath. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to switch the direction of our circles and start small. And go as slow as you want. That's what's so wonderful about doing yoga online. Nobody's watching you. You can do what feels good for you. Inhale and exhale. One more big circle. Only need to come back to tall spine. Let's go into staff pose. So we're going to just straighten our legs out in front of us. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. I like to use my fingertips to grow as tall as I can. Elongate through your spine. Grow tall, tall, tall. And you're in staff pose where you can stay for this stretch. Or maybe you want more, you can float your fingers up towards the ceiling and then hinge 2 or 3 inches and pause here for 2 or 3 breaths. And then we're going to go into a forward fold, but no, it's contraindicated if you're over 60 to a forward fold. So maybe you don't forward fold, maybe you stay here. Or maybe you bend your knees and then begin to forward fold. Reaching your fingertips towards your toes, letting your nose fall towards your knees. And maybe with each breath, you try to just straighten those legs a little bit with each exhale. Inhale and exhale, slowly roll the spine up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. As we pull our left knee in, we're going to go into spinal rotation. Maybe you cross your foot or not. It just depends on what feels good for you. Using your knee to get your opposite arm around that knee, and then rotating around to your left, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and breathing deep. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back around to the center as we switch to the other side. Go on and pull your right knee in, crossing your right foot over if you wish. Taking your left arm around that right knee to get even taller as you slowly rotate around to your right. Remember to lift your heart, lift your gaze, and breathe deep. Inhale, on the exhale, slowly come back around to the center. Uncross your legs as we go into a seated butterfly. The soles of the feet come together. They can either be away if you have lower back issues, or maybe you want a little more. You can just kind of wiggle to get a little closer. Grab hold to your knees or your shins or your ankles, whatever feels good for your body, and sit as tall as you can. You can stay here or join me for a little bit more of a challenge. Let the elbows float over the knees, hinge forward with a long spine. Then tuck your chin and let your nose slowly fall towards your toes as you gently press the knees towards the floor. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly roll the spine back up. Bring your knees together as we transition to our hands and knees for a cat and cow. Again, to warm up the spine and to release any joint release that we need. Wrists are under the shoulders. Wrists, knees, and feet are all in alignment. Tuck your chin, look at your belly, and then round your back like a Halloween cat, pulling your belly into your spine. And then slowly begin to soften your elbows and your wrists. As you drop your belly towards the earth, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Inhale. Exhale into cat pose. Inhale into cow pose. Rolling through the spine like your spine is awake. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, hold your cat pose as we separate our knees and bring our big toes together for a wide knee child's pose. Dropping your buttocks to your heels, dropping your elbows down, dropping your forehead down, maybe reaching your hands out and breathing 3 breaths in child's pose. Know that child's pose is a good modification for anyone that cannot do downward dog. If you have high blood pressure or glaucoma or any kind of lower disc issues in your spine, then this would be a modification for you if downward dog is not something for you to do. So as we come up to our hands and knees, bring your knees together, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, lift your sits bones if you're coming into downward dog for a nice downward dog stretch. We'll do a little bit of pedaling as we press our left heel down, then our right, left, right, left, right. Pressing both heels down as you press your sits bones up. You're pressing your chest toward your thighs. You're pressing the earth away with the balls of your feet and heels of your hands. Inhale and exhale. Next, you're either going to step forward into a standing forward fold, or maybe you just hop forward into a standing forward fold. Just let your arms hang down like a rag doll. Maybe grab your elbows to give you a little bit more weight, to get the crown of the head a little closer towards your toes. Maybe you bend your knees. That's perfectly okay. Maybe you wiggle your hips slightly side to side. And breathe 3 breaths. We're slowly going to come up to standing. So flip your palms out, reverse swan up, bend your knees. I want to take all that love and energy up, 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 all the way up, and then down into your heart center. We're going to do a couple of sun salutations with some vinyasas next. So we will start in mountain pose. We will start slow, and then we will increase the flow speed of our sun salutations. So let us close our eyes with our hands over our heart and just connect the soles of our feet to the earth. Pressing all four corners of the soles of the feet into your mat or into the floor. And breathe 3 breaths here. So whenever you have your eyes closed or you're holding a pose, it's a good time to meditate on that intention if you have one today. Inhale, on the exhale, reach your prayer hands up high and to a high salute. Maybe arch your back a little or not. Inhale. And then on the exhale, we'll swan dive down all the way into forward fold once again. Letting your nose float towards your knees. And then we're going to move into half fold. So we're going to take our hands on our shins, straighten your arms, lift your gaze, and look to the front of your mat. And then go on and bring your hands back down in front of your toes into forward fold. We will step back into plank, left leg, right leg, and maybe you drop your knees in plank and maybe not. Maybe you have wrist issues, you can turn your hand into fist with your palms facing so that your wrists are neutral. And breathe 3 breaths in plank pose. From plank pose, we're going to slowly lower our body all the way down, chest and everything, as we move into cobra. But before we do cobra, know that your lower disc and your back will compress. So if you have any tears in your lower back or your disc, be careful here. Maybe you just lift little, or maybe your body allows you to lift all the way. It's your cobra. Let it feel good for your body, and breathe 3 breaths here. Now from cobra, you can either go into child's pose or join me for downward dog. Downward dog, we're lifting our sit bones as high as we can, pressing our chest towards our thighs, and breathe. And then from here, you can either step forward or hop forward into a standing forward fold, reverse swan all the way up, into mountain pose, bringing your hands over heart center. And now we're going to pick up the flow speed just a little bit. All right, inhale to upward salute. Exhale to forward fold down. Inhale to half fold at the heels of the hands. Exhale to step back into plank. Inhale. On the exhale, you can lower yourself to cobra, or maybe you join me for chaturanga, where you just bend your elbows and hover. In. On the exhale, drop into cobra if you're not already there. In. And on the exhale, child's pose or downward dog. And we'll stay here for a little bit of pedaling. Left heel goes down, right, left, right, left, right, left, and right. Either step forward or hop forward into your standing forward fold, only to reverse one all the way up. Inhale, exhale, hands over, heart center. Inhale to upward salute. Exhale to swan dive down into forward fold. Inhale to half fold. Exhale back to plank. Knees up or knees down. Inhale, and on the exhale, either chaturanga or cobra, whichever feels good for your body. And on the next breath, chaturanga into cobra if you're not already there. And then we're just going to go into a child's pose for a little bit of a break here. So bringing your buttocks back to your heels, letting your forehead come down to your mat, and breathe 3 breaths here in child's pose. Inhale and exhale, come back into downward dog, or you can stay in your child's pose if you're one not doing downward dog. Back to pedaling, left heel goes down, and right, and left, and right, and left, and right, both heels pressing down. We're either going to step forward or hop forward into that standing forward fold, hang down there. And then instead of half fold, we're going to float our arms up into chair pose. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Come on all the way up, forward fold down, and step back with your left foot as far back as you can into a deep runner's lunge. So in our runner's lunge, it's important that your front ankle is under your front knee. You can also drop your knee if you need to. Otherwise, keep it up. And exhale. Lift your hips, step back into plank. Inhale, exhale into chaturanga or cobra, whichever you prefer. If you're not in cobra already, drop down into cobra, and then back into child's pose or downward dog. Paddling left heel, right, left, right, both heels pressing down, step forward or hop forward. Reverse one all the way up. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. Are you feeling a little heat yet? In a good way, right? We want to bring that energy into our knees. Inhale to swan dive down, forward fold, half fold, and step back with your right foot this time into a deep runner's lunge. Remember, ankle is under the knee. You can drop your knee if you prefer or not. Inhale. And on the exhale, step back into plank. Knees up or knees down. Inhale, on the exhale, drop into chaturanga. Maybe you drop into cobra. If you're not in cobra, drop into cobra. And this time, come into child's pose. Once again, for 3 breaths. Inhale. On the exhale, if you're doing downward dog, join me for downward dog. Lifting sits thumbs up. And we will hop forward or step forward back into standing forward fold. Half fold, lift halfway up. This time, step back with your left foot as far back as you can. And this time, we're going into crescent lunge. Float arms all the way up. Reach up to the ceiling. Warrior 1, turn your back foot out to the side. Warrior 2, drop your right arm over your right knee, left arm to the back, and breathe. Peaceful warrior, drop your back hand, flip your front palm up, begin to come up to the ceiling or maybe towards the back. And then from peaceful warrior, we're going to go right into side angle. So you're coming into warrior 2 to transition into side angle. Bringing your front elbow to your front thigh, looking down at your front big toe. Maybe you want more, you can slide down to extended side angle. Coming back into warrior 2, only to come back into peaceful warrior. And from peaceful warrior, we will straighten that right knee as we come into warrior 2, just to transition into triangle, dropping your hand to your thigh or your ankle. Gaze up or gaze down, protecting the neck. Inhale, on the exhale, come back into warrior 2. You're going to take your back arm forward, reach up into warrior 1. And then lifting carefully, lifting your back heel and turning your back foot into crescent lunge, hinging back over into a deep runner's lunge. And then lifting your hip, coming back into downward dog, or maybe you drop your knees and go into child's pose. Left heel goes down, right, left, right, left, right, both heels down, 6 nose up. Either hop forward or step forward into a standing forward fold. Half fold. Step back this time with your right foot as far back as you can in the deep runner's lunge. Floating your arms up. Crescent lunge. And breathe. And then warrior 1, we just turn that back foot out. Boom. Warrior 2, drop your left arm over your left front thigh. Peaceful warrior, drop your back hand, flip your front palm. Begin to reach up, up, up as far as you want, as far as it feels good for you. And from here, we transition to warrior 2, only to go right into side angle. Bringing that front elbow to the front thigh, lifting the front hand up as high as you can. Gazing down to your big toe. Maybe you want more, you can slide that front hand all the way down. Maybe you gaze up. Coming back into warrior 2, back into peaceful warrior. As you straighten that front knee, we're going to transition to warrior two and right into triangle. Dropping your front hand to your thigh or your shin. Back hands up, gaze is up or down. And then back into warrior two. Reset. Warrior one, take your back arm forward. Reach up as high as you can. The higher you reach, the easier it is to stabilize. Carefully lift your back heel, turn your back foot. Press and lunge, hinge back down. Step back into downward dog or drop into child's pose. And our last set of pedals. Left heel, right, left, right. Both heels. And then we're going to come into plank as we move into a kneeling pigeon. So I'm just going to drop my left knee under my chest, bring it as high as you can. Then wiggle your left foot to the right side of your mat. Uncurl your back toes. Lengthen through that back leg into a kneeling pigeon. Now, a lot of times we sit onto our cheek, but try to lift the cheek up. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you want to come down, making a little pillow for your forehead. One fist on top of the other. And breathe, 3 breaths here. This is a great stretch. On the next breath, going to straighten your arms, lift your hips, come back into your child's pose. Extend it with your hands extended away from your shoulders. Drop your elbows, drop your forehead, and breathe. Inhale and exhale, coming back into downward dog, or maybe you stay in your child's pose. And then right into plank. So if you're in child's pose, move right into your plank. Maybe your knees down, maybe not. This time you're going to slide your right knee under your chest. Keep bringing it, try to bring it underneath your chin. Then wiggle your right foot towards the left side of your mat. Then uncurl your back toes. Go on and try to rotate forward. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you drop down and make a pillow for your forehead. One fist on top of the other. Inhale, and on the exhale, go on and lift your head if it's down. Come back to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under and come into downward dog. Either step forward or hop forward into a standing forward fold. This time we're going to take our toes out and our heels and our toes. So your heels are just about as wide as your shoulders. You can stay here, enjoy this stretch, or join me for a deep yoga squat. Drop on the buttocks, lifting the hands over heart center. Pressing the heels down into the earth, closing your eyes as you gently press your knees away from each other with your elbows. And breathe. If you're in the deep squat, drop your hands, tuck your chin, begin to roll up into a standing forward fold. Once again, bringing your toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in. Half fold. Lift the heels, lift your gaze, and then slowly bend your knees, reverse one all the way up to standing. Once again, as we go into our balance pose, is tree pose. So you can bring your hands wherever you wish on tree pose. Over the heart sometimes helps you focus and stabilize, or maybe you want to be a tall tree today, or a tree with branches. Go on and lift up your left heel. Maybe you keep your big toe down, that's perfectly okay. It's also okay to hold on to something. Go on and press that standing leg foot into your mat as you slowly float your foot up, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Pull your belly into your spine and think of an intention. What is your intention today? 2 more breaths. Breathe deep. Use your breath to help you stabilize. Inhale and exhale. Release the hands down. A few shoulder rolls back. Just to relax. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. As you move into tree pose on the other side, I encourage you to move your arms into a different position. Let this be your own tree. So maybe you're a tree in the wind. Maybe you're just a big fat bush. Whatever you want to be, it's your tree. You want to lift up your right heel. Maybe you float that foot up a little or a lot. Pull your belly into your spine and breathe. Inhale on the exhale, go on and release. As we come back to the front of our mats, we're going to forward fold down after we reach our hands up to the ceiling. Forward fold down. Come back to your hands and knees as we do a couple of dancing lines, and then we'll go into our Savasana. So go on and float your left hand out as far as you can reach and float it up. You're going to flip your left pinky up, take your pinky up to the ceiling, and just open up to the left side of your body. And then you're going to take that left pinky towards your left ankle as you circle your hips, you circle your arm nice and big. Inhale and exhale. This again is great for any kind of joint tension release. Inhale and exhale. We're going to do one more big arm circle, and we're going to end up with our pinky up towards the ceiling. As we thread the needle, take the hand under the heart, through the armpit, dropping your ear, dropping your shoulder, maybe lifting up your opposite hand and putting on the lower back. And breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, slowly come back to your hands and knees as we slide our right arm out as far out in front of our shoulder as we can. Floating it up if you can, flipping the pinky up, coming all the way up to the ceiling, opening up, and then beginning your dancing lines. So the pinky comes back towards the ankle. You circle your hips as you circle your arm. Nice, big, slow dancing lines. Inhaling and exhaling each big circle. On the next one, we'll end up with our pinky all the way as high as we can reach. As we thread the needle under the heart, under the armpit, dropping the shoulder, dropping the ear, and breathing, maybe taking your opposite hand to your lower back. Just breathe here. On the next breath, come back to your hands and knees. We're going to transition back into our buttocks. You can either swing your feet around or just cross your ankles and roll back onto your buttocks, taking your feet out in front. Let's do a little posture stretch before we move into our boat pose. So take your hands behind your knees or your thighs, pull your heels in, feet are flat. Use your hand grip to go as tall as you can. Relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears, pulling the belly into the spine, and growing through the crown of the head. Breathe 3 breaths here. You should feel all those long muscles in your back tightening up. That's what we want. We're strengthening and lengthening those postural muscles. On the next breath, holding onto your legs, roll back past your tailbone, rounding your spine, and actually looking down at your belly. Pull your belly into your spine. Hold on to your legs as you lift your chin and your chest. And maybe one leg comes into tabletop, maybe 2. You can also take your hands down to the mat if you need to. This is boat pose. Maybe you take one arm out for progression and the other. Maybe you can straighten your legs into a full boat. It's your boat. Enjoy it and breathe. On the next breath, hinge forward, grab behind your knees, float tall once again. And roll past your tailbone again. We're going to use this pose here to transition onto our spine. So you're just going to lift your feet and slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, rounding the spine, pulling the knees into the chest, bear hugging the knees, and gently rocking the knees side to side. So you can close your eyes here and just relax as we go through a little bit of movement, a little bit of hip joint release. So go on and take your hands or fingertips to your kneecaps. Be sure your ankles are relaxed. Maybe do some ankle circles, and your feet and your legs are very relaxed. As you use your fingertips on top of your kneecaps, pull your knees up to your chest, open your knees away from each other, out to the side, down, and back together. So slow, big circles, letting your fingertips guide your kneecaps. So I say fingertips because if you grab to your shins, your circle is so much smaller. So the bigger, the better here. So you want to not limit your range of motion by bringing your fingertips to your kneecaps. Let's switch the direction of our circles. Inhale and exhale. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Next, we're just going to pull our knees towards our armpits in a modified happy baby. So left knee comes to the left armpit and right knee comes to the right armpit. You can stay here. Maybe you want a little more. You can lift your toes over your knees and grab hold of them, or maybe you grab your ankles. Try to push your tailbone towards your mat. And then maybe you rock just a little, like a baby would rock in a crib. And from here, we're going to move right into legs up the wall. So bring your knees together, reach your big toes up towards the ceiling. If you have knee injuries, go on and flex your feet. Otherwise, just relax your feet. You can take your hands behind your thighs, or you can drop your hands down to your mat. And legs up the wall, you want your legs to be weightless while your body is grounded. Close your eyes and breathe. On the next breath, we're going to float the soles of our feet down to the mat, keeping our knees bent. Pressing your lower back into the mat, your belly into your spine, creating a pelvic tilt upward. And then inhale to peel the spine up into bridge, only to slowly peel the spine one vertebra at a time back down. Release the pelvis. Inhale to tilt the pelvis up, all the way up, peeling that spine up into bridge. And exhale to peel down. And one more inhale to peel up. If you wish to hold your bridge, exhale to lift your hips a little higher. Maybe you interlock your fingers under your hips. Or maybe you just peel back down and just take a little breather. On the next breath, if you're up in bridge, release as you peel the spine down slowly, one vertebra at a time. Take the soles of the feet together. Let your knees fall away from each other into supine butterfly. Let your arms float out into a T with your palms up. A lot of times my lower back hurts here. So the way I fix that, and I encourage you to do the same, is to press your lower back into the mat and press your belly into your spine. Your pelvis will tilt up and it will release any pain or awkwardness in the lower back. So you can stay here for our final Savasana, or maybe you bring your knees up only to straighten your legs, bringing your left heel to the left corner of the mat and the right heel to the right corner of the mat. Close your eyes here and just melt into your mat. So we want to take this time for ourselves to just be still and breathe. Relax your mind, relax your body, relax your spirit, relax your breath, and just be. Relax your toes and the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet and your heels, even your Achilles tendons and your ankles. Relax your calves and your thighs and the backs of your knees and your buttocks. Let them just melt into the mat. Relax your spine, your lower spine, your middle back, your upper back with your shoulder blades just melting into the mat. Relax your shoulders and your arms, the insides of your elbows, the insides of your palms, your fingers, your thumbs. Let your palms be facing upward. The more you relax your thumbs, the more your shoulders will relax. Can you relax your shoulders just a little more? Relax your hip bones and your pelvis, even your belly, your rib cage, your chest, your neck, your scalp, and all the muscles in your face. Relax the muscles in your face. We hold so much tension in our face. Let's just relax every muscle in the face. Your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheekbones, and your nose, your chin, your ears, your earlobes, even your teeth. Unclench them, let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be. Just be in the moment and breathe. In this relaxed state, we can take it another step farther by changing our breath patterns. So today we will inhale as deep as you can in through the nose, all the way down deep into your belly. And this time when you exhale, imagine you're making a fog of breath in front of a mirror. And again, inhale. And fog of breath. And one more, inhale. And exhale. Return to normal breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. And if you're comfortable rolling over onto your side with your eyes closed, maybe in a fetal position, representing renewal or rebirth. As we open up our hearts, let our hearts be filled with love. Love of yourself. Love of our neighbor. Love of that stranger. Maybe someone that instead of in your mind, sometimes I'm guilty of this, I judge them, not intentionally, but they're so different than me. But maybe turn that into love. Can you love that stranger? Let our hearts be filled with love. May your hearts be filled with grace and gratitude today, as well as joy, which comes from a thankful heart. Let us be thankful for the opportunity just to be here today and to be able to practice a practice of yoga, to become stronger in our mind, body, and spirit, to be healthier. In today's world with COVID, what can we do to be healthier? Eating better, sleeping better, exercising, and taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. And may your hearts all be filled with peace. It all starts in our own hearts, peace. May you share that peace with your neighbors, with your strangers, with the world. Peace be with you. And let us slowly come up to a seated position the way we started our practice, with our eyes closed, with a little bend in your knees. I'd like to just spend a moment to lift up any prayer request. So let us just bow our heads. And if you have any prayers that you want to just scream out loud or jot down in the notes there, let us pray for each other. And now let us open our eyes as we come to a close in our practice today. Take your arms out long with your palms out. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center, peace be with you. Stay well, stay healthy, and namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Everybody out there, can you give some social media love, some likes, some love, some emojis out there? Margaret made a great point that she tries to be intentional about saying hello to everyone she sees. Even when you don't get a response, there is a great joy when someone will say hello back, right? And to smile more with your eyes, which is a great thought, Margaret, that we can smile with our eyes, even when our face is covered. And Alicia had a great point too, that in the pandemic, meeting God as a stranger, I thought that was a really awesome word, Alicia. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, and we got some thanks coming in for Karen. Again, thank you for your time and dedication to lead us in this. We so appreciate you. And please share this with your friends, share it on your social media, and let's close in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Patty.